Hello, my sewing friends. My name's Diana. Welcome to my channel, The Wandering Sewist, and this is another edition of #FridaySews. Thank you, Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room, for starting this hashtag. This is the entire reason why I started my YouTube channel, because I live in different countries around the world, and I don't have a sewing community because I'm uprooted from my home community in Texas. And so you are my sewing community. So I currently live in Prague. I came the last 3.5 years. I lived in Africa, and I've lived in Central Europe now for a year. So let's get right into sewing. But before we do that, I want to talk about what I'm wearing. I am wearing my Avenir jumpsuit from Friday Pattern Company. I will insert a picture of the pattern right here. And so I do love this Avenir jumpsuit. It's a little bit snug because my weight is fluctuating, but it's been pretty hot here. It's very breathable. It's got the pants, and I don't really want to show it to you full length because it's a little snug around my tummy, and I'm just staying home today, so it doesn't matter. I was going to be very busy this afternoon welcoming some new people, but I will get into that when it comes to life. Things got canceled. So I want to talk to you about my sewing plans this week and what your feedback, and I want to talk to you about a little bit about travel and a little bit about life. So let's start with sewing. So this week I have only managed to go through a ton of comments. I released a video on Sunday asking your opinion on whether I should sew up the pink linen. I will link the video up here in the cards and down in the comment section. If you click on the card, it will queue it up to watch next after you finish watching this video, so you don't have to interrupt your watching. So I asked your opinion on which of the two dress patterns that I should sew the pink linen in. The cashmere Upton dress or the simplicity dress. And overwhelmingly, the consensus was everyone liked the simplicity dress way better on me than the cashmere dress. And I agree. I do love wearing that simplicity dress a lot. However, there was several comments from people in the sewing community with way more experience than I have. And some people messaged me directly about the pattern and the fabric versus here on YouTube in the comment section. And one person whom I greatly respect pointed out that the linen fabric type is way different than the viscose rayon fabric type that I used for the simplicity dress. And so the sleeves will hang differently because the linen is way more structured. And the skirt will not fall. It will stick out more, and which may not be attractive in a longer skirt. It would be better in a midi to knee length to midi fuller skirt would be better for a more structured fabric rather than the straight down skirt. That's the maxi skirt. And they're all good points that I didn't consider until it was pointed out to me that the weight of the fabric is going to change the way the style of the dress looks. Of course, duh. See, I'm showing my inexperience here. Making the same pattern in different weights of fabric completely changes the look of the dress. Of course it does. So, what I need to do then is so what I needed to do is really have a long think, and I draped the pink fabric around myself and swished it around, and I don't think either one of those dress styles is going to work for the linen. I need something that is a midi length, where there aren't a lot of seams in the skirt, because the gored skirt has 6 seams because it's made of gores. And this person I respect also pointed out to me that because of the embroidery motif on the pink linen, all of those seams in the gores is going to break it up, and I would have a very hard time matching the pattern, and all of the little threads from the embroidery would come out when I cut it, things like that. So all very good points, very good points. And I considered for a little while the possibility of using the bodice for the simplicity dress and then just cutting out a circle skirt and attaching it on. But the back of the dress is all one piece from the neck down to the hem. And I don't trust myself without having to make yet another toile of being able to cut that piece correctly. I would have to cut the pattern piece along the waistline and match it up with the front bodice and then attach the circle skirt. And I'm a little bit nervous. I'm scared about that because to be honest, I don't have the experience. So I started looking through my pattern stash and tried to find one that would work with a more structured fabric, a fuller skirt. And I found this one. So this is Vogue 1672, and it's a faux, right? It's not a wrap dress, it's a faux wrap dress, but it has a very full skirt that doesn't have a lot of seams. And so the fuller skirt would be better for the linen to drape more down the body from, and give me that like swooshy movement that I would really like to have. I love a swooshy skirt. Who doesn't love a swooshy skirt? And a fuller skirt with the linen would be more swooshy. And it has the fit and flare style that I like. So I was looking at the measurements on the back. So I'm going to show you the line drawings. Here, let me move this out of the way. Line drawings. So you can have a cap sleeve or a long sleeve. I'm probably going to change up the sleeve. Possibly need to do a full bicep adjustment, but I'm not too worried about that. That's not very difficult. But it is very low cut in the front. And I am not a low cut front person. I like to dress modestly, and having something low cut in the front would not, it wouldn't work for me. So because I don't know how to alter the front, I am going to make a practice bodice first. So I just took some really poor quality fabric that I have sitting around in my fabric stash. It's this. And I've just cut out the pieces of the bodice of a size 20. I came up in a size 20, sort of. I had to, there's no, unfortunately the finished garment measurements are not on the package. They're on the pattern. So I went and I looked at the finished garment measurements, and I don't really fit in the 20 either, or the 22, except for around the upper bust and the shoulder. I'm a size 20, but I am off of the size chart around the waist, around where they would measure the waist. But my waist, I'm very short-waisted. So my waist is actually, the smaller part is higher up not too far under my bust, just the bottom of my rib cage. That's the smallest part, and that's where I bend. I'm short waisted. My waist is only just here. It's very small distance from under my bust to my waist, just about a hand. So I might have to move where the waist hits by just shortening the bodice, and there is a shorten and lengthen line. So I'm gonna make a practice bodice, and I will just stick a zipper in the back, just baste in the zipper and try it on, and go from there. And I was thinking, if it's too cleavage-tastic here, then I could possibly cut a, like an insert to just go inside and secure it maybe with some hidden buttons or snaps or something, because this dress is fully lined. So whatever fastening I use to make an insert here, I could only attach to the lining, which would make it easy to just hide whatever fastenings, and then I would be able to have it be appropriately modest for me. So next is trying to find fabric to make a practice version. Once I've got the bodice to fit, then I need to make a practice version, keeping in mind the structure of the linen fabric. So I found, now this is a very flowy fabric. I found this is another polyester. I bought a lot of polyester in Africa just to use for practicing making dresses the first time. So this is a very flowy polyester that would not necessarily, but it does have structure. So I could make the first dress out of that. I have enough of that. With a size 20 though, you need 4 3/4 yards of 45-inch wide fabric, and for 60-inch wide you need 3 7/8 just for the outer dress. And then for the lining you need the same amount again. Yeah, you need the same amount again because it's fully lined all the way, the skirt and everything. So, I mean, I don't necessarily have to line the skirt. It's not necessary to line the skirt. I can just wear a slip. But in order to get the finish on the bodice, that's why you line the bodice pieces, is to get the finish on the crossover, the edges. So I could only line the bodice and of course the waistband, because you use that to tack down the lining. So that's possible. And then skip lining the skirt. And then it has a zipper in the back. It says it doesn't have to be an invisible zipper, which I'm happy because I'm terrible with invisible zippers. So that's either that, or I could practice it in one of these other fabrics. The yellow polka dot is a possibility right there. And then down here is a very pretty satin that I haven't showed you. Now this, I wanted to save this for a final version of a very special dress. Something that I make that I'm in love with, that I would wear for special occasions, because this fabric is just It's beautiful. I love it. So I don't really want to use this to twirl. I was considering using this yellow, but there's only 3 yards of it. So it's not enough to make the full dress. I was also considering this pink viscose right here, but I love it too much. I don't want to take the chance of not being able to wear that. So I think I'm stuck using this one and just keeping in mind the structure of the linen and how the dress is going to flow on my body. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm going to twirl the bodice and do my fit checks in this fabric. Now, if I can't get it to fit at all, because my waistline is outside of the size chart, then I will have to go back to the drawing board and try to find something else. I would appreciate in the comments if you could give me some feedback on what I'm thinking. I haven't had a lot of time to work on this week because, again, kids are on summer holidays, and you know, I'm dog sitting 2 dogs, and life just happens when you're a mom life. Okay, so let's switch over to mom life. So there's supposed to be some new people moving in from the United States to Prague that work at my husband's work. If you know what it is, then you know, but I can't really talk about it here on social media. So, but they were delayed twice. So I went over to their apartment on Wednesday to get everything set. I did their grocery shopping, got their apartment set up for them. And then they were supposed to arrive yesterday, which was Thursday. And they had a health crisis, and so rescheduled their flight for today, Friday. And they made it from their home state to London. And then there's a direct flight from London to Prague, which is only a 45-minute flight. But it was canceled, and they couldn't get in a new one until Sunday. And that's a problem because Sunday morning I have to leave for Frankfurt, Germany, to go and pick up the 2 older boys from camp because they're arriving to Frankfurt from Texas early Monday morning. So I'm gonna drive to Frankfurt on Sunday morning afternoon, stay in a hotel, and then pick them up at the airport, and then head back to Prague. And I'll be back at Prague Monday late afternoon, evening time. So I won't be here when they arrive. So I've had to delegate all of the arrival things to my husband, which is fine. He can manage it. But it's put a crimp in my time because I've been planning and making trips to their apartment. And their apartment is not near where we live. We live outside of the city in a suburb called Malasharka. And they live in the city center in an area called Malastrana. And it's actually not too far from the building where my husband works. If you know, you know. And so I've had to go in there twice to do things. And it's been a little bit frustrating, and for them and for us too. And unfortunately I won't be there. Oops. Sorry, I just kicked my camera tripod. Sorry about that. So yeah, that's one thing that's been going on in life. And I had a couple of days this week where I didn't feel very well, and I just spent a lot of time sleeping napping during the day and taking it easy on the sofa, which is, you know, what I need to do when I don't feel well. So today is Friday, so it was Wednesday and Thursday. I didn't feel so well, so I just took some time and just rested. And the only thing I really did was heat up leftovers for the dinner, for the family, and walk the dogs. That's pretty much it. I did throw a couple loads of laundry in, but no big deal. And so I am going to make another trip to Frankfurt this weekend. I'm leaving Sunday morning around 11ish, and I'll make it into Frankfurt probably 4 or 5 in the afternoon, stay at the hotel, go to the airport. I think the boys' flight comes in around 8:30 in the morning. So go to the airport, pick them up, and then we'll just head straight back to Prague from the airport. Now, at the end of this video, I'm going to insert some footage that I took on my trip to take them to the airport from Czech Republic to Frankfurt, Germany. So Prague, Czech Republic to Frankfurt, Germany. I'll insert some footage so you can see some of my journey from Prague to Frankfurt, and you can see what it looks like. It's beautiful. The countryside is a lot of farming. I always am surprised at how much farming there is in Europe. I think that's something a lot of people don't realize when they go to Europe. European cities tend to be built up and not out. They are actually small area-wise, and the people live in apartments just stacked on top of each other. And then the city ends, and then it goes straight to farms. There isn't like a suburban sprawl, an urban sprawl, suburban sprawl like we're used to in the United States. That doesn't really happen. People live either in apartments closer into the city or out in a rural area in a little village surrounded by farms. And you won't really see a house alone with farm. It'll be a little village surrounded by farmland, and the farmers tend to live closer into the village and then travel out to their farm. And so that's why when you fly low enough over Europe where you can see or there isn't clouds, you see a spot of light and then dark, and then a spot of a light and then dark. So that's the villages or the towns, and then surrounded by farms. There's a lot of farmland in Europe. And so the video that you're going to see and the photos that you'll see at the end will highlight all of the farms. And so it's always surprising to me as an American, because that's just not the way we do things. But, you know, Europe has been farmed a lot longer than America has been farmed. So that's the system they've had set up for hundreds and hundreds of years. All right, so that's it from me, the Wandering Sewist in Prague, Czech Republic this week. Please take a moment to give me your feedback on what I'm planning to do about this dress. And coming up next week, I am going to start my collaboration with my young high school student, Joy. And we are going to be starting our backpacks this next week. We'll probably start on Tuesday doing all the cutting out, fusing of interfacing, and all of that stuff. And then Wednesday, we will be starting to sew our backpacks. Thursday, I'm having surgery on my mouth again, so I probably won't be up to that. So we probably won't finish our backpacks next week. We'll finish it the following week, just in time for her to have a brand new backpack for her to start school at the end of August. And hopefully in between all those times, I can work on my Vogue 1672 dress. Please like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I am getting so close to the 1,000, the magic 1,000 mark where I'm eligible for monetization. I am at 956. 956. If you could please subscribe if you haven't already. Please share this video or some of my other videos with your other sewing friends and ask them to subscribe to get me up to the magic 1,000 mark. That would be great. I'm coming up with some plans to celebrate my 1,000 subscriber mark. I've been thinking about having a Q&A session where you can send in your questions to me, and I will make a video just answering questions. Could be personal questions, it could be sewing questions, it could be, as long as it's not forbidden for me to talk about on YouTube. It could be about my daughter. It could be about raising adopted kids from Ukraine. It could be about living all over the world. It could be about whatever you want to ask about. So once I hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, we'll have a Q&A. When I get closer, I will give you an email address that you can send your questions to. So start thinking about things that you might want to know, and I will plan on having a Q&A video when I reach the 1,000 mark. I hope you all have a fabulous weekend with plenty of time to sew something beautiful. Take care. Bye.
So here are the three boys waiting at this train station to go to the airport to pick up the rental car. The two bigger ones are going, the little one's staying back. And now we're in Germany. This is a vineyard that we saw along the side of the road surrounded by forests. We're in a hilly part of the Black Forest, the Schwarzwald, in Germany, driving on the Autobahn. There I am driving. We're on the Autobahn. Autobahns you can drive as fast as you want to until you come to a village. Here's yet more of the farmland I was talking about. You can see there's a view off to the side of a whole valley of farms everywhere you look. And on the right side is all forest, the Black Forest there. And on the left is all farmland. And we're still on the Autobahn driving. People drive as fast as they want to. And then just wanted to give you another view of even more farmland that it seems like the whole way from Prague to Frankfurt, unless you're driving through a village or a city, is just farms everywhere you look. Farms, farms, farms. I didn't realize how much farming there was when I first moved to Europe. And here we are. We're in the Czech Republic here, so everybody's driving a little bit slower because the maximum speed limit is only 130 kilometers per hour. That's about 65 to 70 miles per hour. And so it's a little bit more sane driving. It's not quite as scary as driving on the Autobahn.